What's up guys, Noisybull here, and I'm back again, and today I've been playing ElectroGiant a lot, actually. It's been really good for me in the meta, and I mean, maybe not really good, but it's been effective enough. I had a couple really good games, and right now I'm sitting at 1300th in the world. Not crazy high, I've been higher, but I was like, I was at like top 600 a couple days ago, and then I lost a bunch of games, and I got back up, but anyway, so to start off, I'm going to play a normal ladder game. Whether I win or lose, I'm just going to leave it in the video just so you guys get like an example of my live gameplay, and then I'm going to go through a couple of replays. But anyway, alright, let's see. Paco. I don't usually like to make the first play, but I'm going to wait to see what he does. I mean, it's ideal if we wait till double elixir, but I don't know if I feel like doing that just for the sake of the video, but I guess I could just cut it out, the waiting time. Ugh, battle healer. I gotta hope this is E-Golem, because if this is regular Golem battle healer, this is gonna be... It should not be the worst matchup in the world, but I am awful at playing it, so... We'll just see. I'm gonna go cannon high, just because I didn't really want to bowler into that yet. I wasn't comfortable doing that, so... Probably should have baby dragon on the right over here. Oh. What is going on? Oh, I played the same deck before. He's gonna have pump, which is gonna be a little irritating, but you can go bowler here. I'm just waiting for him to go pump in the back. He's gonna have vines too, if I remember correctly. Yep, there's the pump. I could have just lightning that, but whatever. Yeah, and he does have mini P.E.K.K.A. That's annoying. I'm gonna see if I could hit a quick golden knight here. Awesome. Alright, that's good. Now, I gotta be very careful here. He's gonna go golem in the back. Or not. Okay. That was really weird. I guess maybe he just wanted to force a baby dragon out. That's the only thing I could imagine. Now, usually when they go golem in the back and my bowler gets to around here, I'll usually pop the ability just because I don't want that bowler to like go really far forward and die. Because if he's like up there, they're just going to snipe it with whatever they're going to snipe it with. And that's going to be irritating. I can hit a good lightning on this. Oh, the battle healer lived. That's not good. I cannot let that battle healer survive. Now he's going to go vines, I think. Awesome. I've definitely gotten better at playing this matchup, but for like when I first picked up egiant, I was losing like every golem game. It was so bad. I think this game I tried something new because like in the past I've been taking the lightnings on the pumps, and that's been killing me. So this time I just wanted to take the tower early, so that way I don't have to. Because, like, you know, once you get in a double and triple, like, you know, they're going to have zappies and mini P.E.K.K.A. and vines, and it's going to be really difficult to break through. So I saw an opportunity to take the tower, and I figured why not, and it ended up working out. I think that's something they're going to start doing from now on. So it's kind of cool that I learned that real time in the video, you know? Because in the past, again, I have been lightning the pumps, which allows them to go golem in the back, and then I have to play egiant into the same lane usually, which allows them to get their zappies, mini P.E.K.K.A.s, vines down, all that stuff, and that's a nightmare, and it's just going to kill the egiant anyway, so it felt like a right opportunity, and I'm happy I took it, honestly. But that puts me at 1,000, oh god, you know, I'm going to play one more on video, just so I can get the, just so I could get to top 1,000 if I win. But even if I lose, I'm going to leave it in the video, so that way, I can go over the replays and stuff. But you guys will see whether I win or lose. I don't know. Goblin game. Is it gonna be that weird, like, mini P.E.K.K.A. Hog Princess Rocket deck? Because that was going around, like, a couple years ago. I think that is what it's gonna be. Because he's gonna... I wonder if he's gonna have Rocket then, or Lightning. I would hope it's Rocket, but who knows. But yeah, I think that is what it is. I gotta be mindful of that mini P.E.K.K.A. I'm gonna pop this ability early just because I want to kill that Firecracker. There's a mini P.E.K.K.A. God, I haven't seen this deck in forever. But, oh, he has pigs, okay. That's probably better for me, actually. I didn't really want a Barbell on that. And the mini P.E.K.K.A. surviving is whatever, I guess. So I just gotta play really passively in single, I think. I have not played this matchup with egiant yet, actually. So I guess we're gonna find out how this goes. But it should be okay for me as long as he doesn't have, like, vines or something. I didn't see if he had Evo pigs. I always miss that. Like, when they place the Evo and it has, like, the little diamond above, I always miss whether they have it or not, but everyone's using Evo pigs, so I can't imagine he doesn't have them. What do I want to do? I'm going to pop the early ability again. If he goes mini P.E.K.K.A. to block, whatever. Alright, awesome. I'm going to Tornado this back just to kill the bats. Honestly, I would not have ordinarily, but the bats were going to take like half the HP off of that, and I didn't really feel like dealing with that. So I'm going to pop this. I'm going to get an early cannon down. Is he going to go... Oh, okay. I thought he was going to go mini P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge on that. I'm just going to Tornado these to King. I'm just going to ignore that. That was rough. That was really rough. Alright, but we're still in this. I just gotta focus. Sorry if I get quiet around this point. I do want to win this game. I think talking while playing is definitely taking a toll on my gameplay, and that's not something that I want to happen, so. Good. But I might have dug my grave already. That might be too late. Gonna pop that ability early and just take out the goblins. Get a little bar barrel on this. Firecracker going in the right is a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Fireball, okay. So I have a chance since it's Fireball. Okay, wait. Is he gonna Fireball on defense? Nice. Yeah, sorry, I had to get quiet there at the end, because, like, you know, when I'm talking and I'm playing, like, I'm not really paying attention as much, and so the Goblin Gang took a bunch of damage, and I'm like, alright, but when I got a lock in, I get kind of quiet. 927, top 1000, awesome. That's definitely my matchup. He's always going to get some damage, but it really should not have been that close. Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Ice Golem ability are definitely annoying, but I can Lightning those away for an even trade, so I don't know. That should not have been as close as it was. I'm surprised he didn't have the evil firecracker though. I'm surprised he picked bats over them. He's a good player though. 67 finish. I'm not gonna say it, but it should not have been that close. I'm curious. There's no way that Goblin Gang did 2,000 damage. Did he already have more damage on my tower? The one that I ignored. Where was it? Did I miss something else? Okay, 37. The Goblin Gang did that much. There's no way. Yeah, I guess it did. Alright, anyway. I played well at the end. I played very well at the end, like with clogging the lanes with bowlers and stuff. I mean, once you force them into one lane, you can kind of just clog up the lanes and counter push off of that, but earlier in the games when they can split stuff around, it can get a little confusing on when to attack and defend, but I feel like that's something that I'm better at than most people, is just knowing, like, when is the right time to attack and, like, where I should be attacking. It's one of my strong suits, I feel like, as a player. But alright, I do want to go over this. This game was really funny. This guy was a good player, too. This is such a bad matchup, but, like, almost for both of us in a way. You know, like, neither one of us... He can definitely defend better than I can, because, like, think about it. Like, a ground troop can't hit an air troop, but an air troop can hit a ground troop. So, but an air troop can't distract a ground troop. So both of us are always going to get damage. It's just that he's going to get a lot more damage, just because my troops can't hit his troops. You know, I only have one air troop in the baby dragon and like an electro-giant. But yeah, anyway, he waited a little bit and then he went lava in the back, and I had such a bad hand when he did that. Like, I can't go baby dragon because he's just gonna cross a bridge. I have to go bar barrel. I was considering whether to do it same lane or opposite, but I didn't know where my egiant was gonna be. So if I ended up having to play opposite lane, it was nice to have that little bit of extra damage, you know. And I had to awkwardly cycle bowler, and then I went baby dragon, and my original plan was to lightning this, but then egiant came up as my next card, so I'm like, alright, I'm just going to stack the bowler and play an egiant into that. And at this point, I felt good until he did that. That balloon opposite lane was awful, but at this point, I'm like, alright, I don't know what ground defense he has. I haven't seen a building from him yet, so I'm just going to go all in and try to tower trade with him, since obviously I wasn't defending that anyway. I just go Golden Knight. And thank God I didn't try to tornado that balloon or anything, because you'll see. He plays a Skarmy right here, and I can just NATO it away. Now, I wasn't expecting him to have a fireball. I mean, I didn't even know if he'd have a big spell, because this is like such a spammy deck. I thought it was going to be some like weird like double minions with like the minion horde and the regular minions. I didn't know if he was going to have a big spell, and then he fireballed. I'm like, ugh. Like, I felt I was in a really bad spot at this point. I mean, not awful, but definitely did not want to be here, especially considering the matchup and that I can't really defend. So him having the damage advantage on top of that, and me having to play into the king tower, because I have to play same lane as him, so me having to play into that king tower with him having the damage advantage already was kind of annoying. But I just preload with the cannon, so he can't go balloon in the pot. I mean, he can, but it at least gives me a chance to react, you know. And he chooses to go balloon over there, and I believe I tornado that up. Yeah. And then I messed up that barbell. I should have played it like a second earlier to distract the minions, but then I ended up having a lightning anyway. Like, the barbell was really like, so I was trying to avoid playing the lightning on that, but you see up there, like, he can't defend my egiant. But when I played that barbell, I was trying to avoid having a lightning, and then I ended up having to do it anyway, and that was kind of annoying. But at this point, I know saving my baby dragon, the Evo version, is going to be my best shot at winning this game right now. So he goes all in down there, and I just decided to go with an egiant up here. And I pull it off with the cannon, and then you see he goes Skarmy. He's trying to kill my cannon. We're both just going for a 3 count at this point, and so I just start spamming. And he actually makes a big mistake here. He snowballs my tower. If he knew his spell damage and he goes fireball, he wins the game. But him snowballing him ended up costing him game, which is unfortunate for him. But I mean, I'm not complaining, I guess. But that's like such a weird matchup. It's something where neither one of us can defend, but I especially can't defend. So I really just have to base race and hope that he makes like the mistake of trying to defend. But he obviously didn't do that. He went all in for 3 count. He just miscalculated his spell damage. Now, this was another really weird game. Like, this is, I think it's slightly his matchup, but I can get really good lightning value here. and I can get really good value with the Golden Knight, and ignore that miss. That was, I always hit that, but the thing with the Bar Barrel is if you hit the Ice Spirits quick enough, you can actually force, like, a defense out of them. So, like, so if I hit that Bar Barrel quick enough on the Ice Spirit, it kills the Ice Spirit, and then he still has to defend the Barbarian, you know? So that was kind of what I was thinking there, but I wasn't really paying attention when he dropped it. I was kind of looking up. I was actually watching UFC when it happened, and so I, what's it called, yeah, he did. I wasn't really paying attention and kind of missed it, but Cannon is really nice in, like, the matchups like this where they have a Tesla or a Cannon, or, like, so I'm kind of building that where if they drop it low, I can hit good lightning value, but if they drop it high up near the river, I can get an early cannon down and kill the building. So it kind of, like, I was running Tombstone, like, the last week, and then I switched to Cannon earlier today thanks to a clanmate, and Cannon has made such a big difference in, like, those matchups where I can snipe out buildings easily, you know? But anyway, I felt okay going egiant there just to clog up the lane, and I knew that he didn't really have, like, a good DPS unit, so I could just tornado in whatever he dropped, and it was all going to die anyway, so I wasn't really worried about a counter push. And now this is a funny point, because, like, neither one of us make a move here, and we just start emoting on each other. I think both of us had, like, hands where we didn't want to be the first one to play. We both wanted to play reactively. So then we're both sitting here, and then I'm thinking about it more, and at this point, I'm like, alright, I can't. Ordinarily, I would have just waited till the end of the game and lightninged his tower at the last second to steal the win. But I knew he was running Graveyard, and I didn't want to be the guy that waits till 20 seconds left and have him hit a quick Graveyard Poison on my tower and steal the game. So I was a little bit worried about that. So at some point, I do end up... Yeah, I play Bowler in the back. And he makes a mistake here. He goes same lane as my Bowler, which I thought was really weird. I played the Bull in the right lane, though, because I was trying to switch the lane off of the tower with the lower HP. Like, I was trying to make him play into the higher HP tower of mine, you know? But when he played that Knight in the back, I felt safe going E-Giant in the left, and I thought he was going to Furnace into that, but then he actually went Furnace into the Bowler, which I thought was really weird, and it led me to hit a great Lightning. And then, I want to see if I do it. Alright, so I hit a Bowler here, and I can actually just Tornado it all in, which you'll see I do, and then I hit a good Golden Knight dash on everything, which is why I have both the Golden Knight and the Bowler, because there's so many opportunities for, like, quick, easy damage when I can't break through with any Giant. If I'm, like, tornadoing his defense together to kill all the Golden Knight, or, like, getting a Golden Knight chain onto the tower, or tornadoing stuff for a Bowler lock, like, there's so many matchups where you can't get the damage with the E-Giant itself, and so you need to use the Tornado along with both of those units to get, like, to get that little bit of damage along with Lightnings and stuff to be able to win the game, you know? And the E-Giant is more of a distraction for them than anything in certain matchups. Yeah, you'll find that's the case against, like, 2.6 and whatever. And right there, I didn't really care about the King activation. I just wanted damage because, obviously, there's 30 seconds left. And Cannon does great against Graveyard. And I was worried about him going Knight or something on the bridge, so I tried a high Cannon, but then he went Bar Barrel. And at this point, I'm feeling great about the game. And I just, you'll see, I go E-Giant to the bridge. I'm just trying to force him to play defense at this point, so that way he can't get into the Cannon, Graveyard. But he does it, and he plays a naked Graveyard, which, obviously, if I didn't play that E-Giant, he might have been able to get a tank in front, and that would have been... Maybe he wins the game at that point, you know? But, obviously, I held out. I was able to Lightning his tower and just win in tiebreaker. Now, I do have one more replay I want to go over, and... Where is it? Here it is. Oh, actually, I do want to do Mortar. Because Mortar is, like... Obviously, this isn't, like, your typical Mortar deck, but Mortar as a whole is, like, a brutal matchup, and it's one that I kind of had to learn by trial and error. You know, like, for a while, I couldn't figure it out, and then it just kind of started clicking for me, and especially once I subbed in Cannon, it's made a big difference, because what people will do is they'll, like, spam you, and when you play your E-Giant, they'll just drop the Mortar, like, in the middle of the river, and it'll apply pressure while defending your E-Giant. So having the Cannon there has really made a big difference over the Tombstone, because I can just snipe the Mortar for 3 elixir and just keep my push going, you know? I felt good about that, because obviously it was a 2 for 5 trade, because the Cannon costs dead, and the Bowler ability only costs 2 extra elixir. Now, here I was a little confused. I've definitely played this deck before, but it's not like I see it every day. I also do... this was going to be a quick video, but I actually do want to go over a P.E.K.K.A bridge spam game right after this. So what happens right here? I go egiant to the bridge, and then he does that, and what do I even... Yeah, so you'll see, like, right there, the cannon can snipe the mortar, and now he still has to defend my egiant, you know? And it was going to take care of the Goblin Sign until he popped... It forced the extra ability out of him, too. But you'll see, I get some quick extra damage here because of that. Another bowler's going to go Sam Lane, and it's still going to kill that scientist guy, so... I felt pretty good about that whole interaction. Especially given that this is a tough matchup where you kind of have to... You have to take your wins where you can get them here, because there's so many there's so many times that I play against Mortar, and you just can't break through, and it kind of allows them to just... I don't know, they can kind of just sit on the game and keep spamming stuff at you. Like, they can kind of sit on offense the whole game, and you can't really do anything about it, because if you try to attack, they can drop those mortars over the river, and it'll play defense while playing offense, you know? Like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job at explaining that. I'm kind of washed with commentary, but it's just, it's a matchup where your offense is going to be turned into their offense. So you're kind of just stuck playing defense the whole game a lot of the time if you're not really careful about when and where you're playing your stuff. But right there, like, I'm just activating the ability whenever I can just to force him on defense for, like, the only time, you know? And I will say a lot of the times you do want that lightning damage on tower because it's probably the only damage you're going to be getting, but sometimes you have such good lightning value. Like right there, he had the Goblin Sign and the Ice Wizard, and it was either I can hit the tower and not kill all that, or I can hit the lightning on all three of those, and he still has to defend the push, you know? So sometimes it's better to even ignore the tower damage and just take the valuable lightning when you see it. Right here, I did know he's going to pop the ability, so I kind of just... Or I did think he was going to pop the ability, so I just Tornado Golden Knighted, and it kind of killed all that, which was nice. And you'll see, even right here, like, cannon is really valuable. I did kind of mess up the timing where the mortar was able to kill it, because I dropped the cannon, like, half a second too early. If I delayed that, I probably fully defend that and take no damage. But I was okay letting get a few shots, just because it was going to even out the tower's HP, you know? And I felt safe going E-Giant there because, again, I had Bowler in hand, and there's not a lot they can do. And you'll see Bowler NATO just kind of cleans everything up. And this is what I mean. There's anytime you try to attack in this matchup, they're just going to turn your offense into their offense. And your push is just going to die anyway. So that's why it's nice to have the cannon, because it kind of allows you to prevent that in a way. Especially like the evil mortar. If I was still running Tombstone, I have to drop that Tombstone low, and then I still have to drop something else like the Bowler. Bowler was out of hand, so I have to like hit a baby dragon too, and that's 7 elixir, and the cannon's still sitting there in the middle to snipe if they drop anything else up there. So the cannon's just made a big difference for me, offensively and defensively. But it was nice to get a win in that matchup, because that can be a rough one sometimes. The mortar bait specifically is awful. But I do want to do this P.E.K.K.A replay. This is going to be the last one of the video. I didn't even remember what happened first place. So he goes Bandit the bridge, which I thought was a little weird. And then, obviously, I play a Golden Knight on that. I didn't want to use my cannon, because if he plays a Battle Ram, then it's just going to make things really awkward. Like, then I have to play my Bowler, and then he could go P.E.K.K.A into it, and I'm down a bunch of elixir. But here I kind of had to play E-Giant, because, again, I didn't want to play my cannon. And I felt okay with the elixir trade here. I think he tries to get cheap. Instead of going with a P.E.K.K.A, he goes for an E-Wiz, and I just NATO it in. And they ends up having to go P.E.K.K.A anyway, although that baby dragon might have been a mistake on mine. It might have been a little bit over and over commit, and you'll see I end up paying for it. I go with a low cannon, and then he hits some minions, and then you'll see he's gonna go. I missed the bar barrel pull, but the bar barrel was supposed to pull the P.E.K.K.A, but I guess it worked for the minions, so it wasn't the end of the world. But I'm forced to defend the battle ram over here, and I take a bunch of minions damage, and this ends up like really hurting the way that I play the game. later on. But anyway, right here, at this point I have to use my bowler, but I play it in the left so that way, like, because if I drop it low on that right side, he's just going to spam opposite lane. These are the things that you have to be thinking about, because the deck is so expensive that you need to get the most out of your defensive units. And if I drop that bowler on the right side, he's going to spam the left lane, and I'm going to lose my tower, and that's the end of the game. So you have to be really mindful of, like, your elixir situation and what they could potentially do when you're dropping your units and where you're dropping them. But right there, it's nice to have the King Tower activation. I mean, I don't think it ends up doing all that much for me in this game, but you never know when it could come in handy. And it was the cheapest response I had in hand, so it ended up being the best possible defense I could have done anyway. But right here, I wanted to drop a low cannon, but it would have lost half its HP by then. Like, by the time the P.E.K.K.A crosses the river, and then he just arrows it out. And at that point, I'm in a pretty awkward situation. But then I felt good. I felt okay dropping the cannon later. During the game, I dropped the cannon, and I'm like, alright, I have the bowler for the right lane. So, in a way, it was kind of like a bait, because I was thinking about it in the way of, alright, so he's going to go Battle Ram on the right with that Golden Knight, and then he's going to be throwing a bunch of elixir into a bowler, which I can then counter push off of. Now, what I didn't think he was going to do was P.E.K.K.A in the back. I thought that was a really bad play by him, and it allows me to win the game, because at that point, that's another big tip with ElectroGiant, is when people are dropping troops in the middle, sometimes it's best to tornado them opposite lane, just like, because when you tornado them into the egiant, yeah, it's killing the troop, but in these situations where they're low on time, or maybe it's sudden death or something, it's best to just have your egiant have as much HP. Like, yeah, you're tornadoing the E was in, and it's killing the Electro Wizard, but it's slowing down your push. Your push is taking damage. It's giving him more time to get more elixir to defend. So when you're in a crunch and you need to take the tower as quickly as possible, or for whatever other reason, like maybe you need that extra little bit of HP on your egiant, I sometimes tornado stuff to the opposite lane just to save that extra little bit of health, even if like, oh yeah, I have the advantage of, yeah, that Ewis would have died. In certain situations, it's better to just be able to defend it later on and have that extra HP on your E-Giant or the rest of your push or whatever, you know. That just comes down to situationally knowing what you can and can't get away with defensively. Like, right there, I knew that he was up against the clock. Like, I was never going to defend that push anyway, whether or not the E was with it. And it was more just about the time and how much time you had to get the push there, so I thought it was more important that I needed to take the tower no matter what. Because if I tornado that in, maybe his other troops, maybe that gives them that little edge that they need to kill my E-Giant push and save his tower with like 400 HP and I lose the game, you know what I mean? But it ended up being a really close game. Like, I'm going to go back into that because I was kind of talking over like the last second of it with the whole tornadoing stuff into your E-Giant versus away from your E-Giant. I do it a lot with Zappies too. I'll tornado them to the opposite lane. A lot of ranged troops, Musketeers. But yeah, you'll see, like, it ended up being a crazy close game. Like, that, hold on, I kind of skipped over it. I barely was able to save the game. I was up against the clock, and I knew it, so I just had to try and stall out as much time as possible. You'll see 10 seconds left, because, see, that E-Giant's relatively low. If I tornado that E was in, maybe it dies, and I lose the game. But that cannon, at the last second, I knew the Evo Battle Ram was going to bounce back off of it, and it bought a P.E.K.K.A swing. It pushed the P.E.K.K.A back, and it made me win by like half a second. And it came down really close. And I think if I tornado that E was in, there's a chance that my push dies and I lose the game, because I was not defending that either way, you know. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I think I'm going to play E-Giant for the rest of the season, so I'll probably end up making more videos on it. I am having a lot of fun with it. I was also playing this Graveyard deck for a while, but then I switched to E-Giant and I was enjoying it more. But I was also really high with this. I was like top 400 in the world for like a couple days with it. So I was doing really good. This one I'm going up and down with it, but with my highs, like with this deck, when I'm actually focused on playing well, like, I feel like I can beat anybody with this deck. Like, there are one or two matchups that I can't seem to figure out, like Pig's Earthquake with the Queen and Delivery. That's been a real challenge for me. Giant Double Prince has given me a few problems. Mortar, which I'm starting to figure out, but is a tough matchup. But even the tough matchups, like, you can find ways to win them, which I really enjoy. Which egiant doesn't really have a reputation for. Egiant kind of has a reputation of being the deck where either you counter them or they counter you. But there's a lot more nuance to it when you get to the higher levels. Like, once you start to learn more about the deck, there's a lot more nuance to, like, with which cards you have. Like, that's why I have both the Bowler and the Golden Knight instead of a second Air Troop. Like, yeah, making a sacrifice versus Lava Hound specifically, but versus all these building decks, it gives me an extra weapon to where maybe I never beat Hog Earthquake, but since I subbed in Golden Knight for Ice Wizard, now I'm beating Hog Earthquake 30% of the time, you know, because it gives me an extra weapon to be able to break through with. Goblin Drill is another matchup where this has made a big difference. So it sucks only having one Air Troop, but just I found that having the extra offensive potential with both of them has made a lot more of an impact for me in a lot more games than the second Air Troop would have. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if you guys have any video suggestions down below.